UFC punching. So basically the machine where you hit it and it gives you a 1 to a 1,000 score. Byron did beat me by 6. I think he was 686 and I was 681.
I thought you said you're a fighter.
I reminded Byron there's other ways to win a fight, so don't f with me is what I'm saying.
The following is a production of Dirty Mo Media.
Hey guys, welcome to Action's Detrimental post. Where we're
Pocono.
Pocono. It's crazy the weeks go together the way they did. My brain said Michigan, but we did that one already. We didn't do last week. Sorry we missed you guys last week after Mexico. Any quick takeaways we had for Mexico?
Did we talk about Mexico? Travis and I got together and did a little.
What'd you do? Y'all had a podcast?
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, we did.
We pulled some audio from preseason with some predictions just to see how they were doing that we had, and then quickly chatted about some drivers.
What was the one prediction that I said
like
was
an idiot or just I didn't listen to y'all's podcast. Really?
Well, you had some things going on.
I told you to get a fill-in.
Yeah, we did. We tried. Jared and I. We tried to get some other drivers.
Y'all just did one-on-one?
Yeah, we tried to get Ryan Truex to come on.
He was busy.
Driver of the 11 car.
Bubba and Tyler were busy. I even tried to get Ricky. He was busy.
Ricky did text me that Tuesday. We did this on Wednesday. I heard from Ricky's social guy on just right before we recorded.
Yeah, because he was out in L.A.
Yeah.
Ricky has a social guy?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. My takeaways were I don't know. It was kind of a butt whooping by SVG. I think the NASCAR on Prime group did a really good job of making it compelling when the on-track product wasn't super compelling. They did a good job of telling other stories, which was fantastic. They signed off after this week, and it's certainly going to miss those guys, the way they do things, the production, the storytelling they do. It's just fantastic what they've put together there, especially the group of talent that they put together.
How's the family of 5 doing?
They are doing good. I tell you, had I won this week, I would be on an unprecedented heater. I mean, I still probably am. On the track, off track, like, we're white hot right now.
You got a Denny Hamlin baby, too. We're on the 11th.
On the 11th. Trust me, we didn't plan this to happen, during Mexico City week, nor on the 11th.
6/11.
But when she went to the doctor on Tuesday, that was the 10th. Yeah. They says, okay, you need to leave here and just go to the hospital. Do not pass go, do not collect $200, just go to the hospital. And we're looking and we're like, it's the 10th, and like, okay, yeah, we're ready. Let's do this. This schedule kind of works out. I can still go on and do my thing this weekend. So we went there, and it seemed as though they weren't in a super big hurry when we got there, and we're looking at the clock, and we're at the time we get all settled in. It's 4 hours until the 11th, and we're thinking, it would be kind of cool to have a June 11th baby. And I didn't realize my first Cup win came on June 11th.
Oh, really?
At Pocono. Yes. I didn't realize that until I saw the stat on NASCAR on Prime. I was like, holy crap. Same birthday as Jameson's. So, but yeah, it was, listen, the pushing for Molly, the pushing for Taylor was so much shorter. When I say so much, a few minutes here and there for especially Molly. But this was a long, hard labor for Jordan. And, it happened, in the afternoon. Yeah, in the afternoon. It started the morning of the 11th. and went all the way to the afternoon before the little bugger came out finally. But, he didn't get a name till 3 days later. Like we're leaving the hospital. We're like, all right, you got to give us a name.
What took you so long?
So we were using technology to simplify it. What we did, and this is a very interesting process, is that we came up with probably, let's call it 12 names that we liked. Some of them we knew that we liked as maybe first or middles, but here was 12 names. And my niece, Caitlin, actually helped with this. So she took those 12 names. She took a picture of the piece of paper of our 12 names that we liked, went to ChatGPT and says, create a spreadsheet with all the combinations of these names. Well, so then it spits out 1,000 names, right? And so then I go through them and I highlight which ones I like. So then we tell ChatGPT, okay, take out, any combinations with this name as a first name, because I like it only as a middle name. So then it narrows it down. It keeps shrinking it and keeps shrinking it. And then finally it gets to the final 38 names or so. And then Jordan's like, okay, I can't decide. You're just going to have to decide. And then so I texted her and her sister the picture of him, and then I said, introducing blank, 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 blank. And then she's like, I know someone with that middle name. He had 4 names originally. His name was James Drew Miller Hamlin. And so we were then like, you know what? How can we? She's like, let's change it. I was like, okay, I'm fine. I mean, we're on the clock. We're checking out here.
The pick is in.
The pick is in. But JD had I wanted to keep JD in the name. I'm a JD. JD Gibbs obviously was a huge person in my life, in my racing career. James Dean also was a huge part. He was my car owner in late models. He essentially was the team that I drove for when JD Gibbs found me. So there was too many JDs that were important in my life to not have him be a JD. And so at that point, the son of James, which is myself, is Jameson. And so went with Jameson and then Drew to kind of keep the D Hamlin going as well. I bounced around a bunch of different D names, and Drew just felt best to me. There's no rhyme or reason behind that. And then we dropped the Miller. Miller Gibbs was very disappointed to see we dropped the Miller, by the way. I mean, we would have had the full Gibbs crowd in there.
Yeah. Yeah, but I was surprised. I thought it was cool hearing that story and how you went about the names. Because going up to it, when I came over for the first time, I asked Jordan, I was like, what's his name? And she's like, And I was like, James Jett?
Yeah, James
no
Jett.
Idea.
For those that don't know, in my inner circle, I've tried to sell her on James Jett for a very, very long time. I think I had wore her down enough to get that through the goal line, but we came up with others that, there was one in particular we came really close to, Miles Miller. That was really close. I liked if we didn't go with JD, I liked first and middle initials to be the same because it just kind of rolls off the tongue. But anyway, we have a Jameson Drew is what we have, and he is amazing. He's been sleeping extremely well. So, yeah, we are a family of 5.
And Molly seems to be over the moon. This is her baby.
Gosh. I mean, you know how she carries around the fake baby dolls? She's doing that now with a real baby doll. I mean, just toting this thing all around the house, and we're kind of like, but we would know that she would sacrifice her body if she tripped before hurting that child.
Let's give a quick update here on Fanatics Fest last week.
Jared, I told you when I did the red carpet for the 40-40 Club at Fanatics Fest, I correctly, they asked me for my Game 7 NBA Finals prediction. I says Oklahoma City wins this game by 12. They won the game by 12. And then we had a bet. You owe me $20.
I reminded you.
Thank you. I said Tom Brady would win Fanatics Fest athletic competition. So, and he did. So, how did I do? This was an important thing, right, Trav?
Very important.
Could not get beat by Byron.
No.
Well, I didn't. I think I beat him in 6 of the 8 competitions. He was surprisingly better than I thought, though, in quite a few things. Soccer, hockey. He actually got unlucky in hockey, and you had to knock these pucks in like the hole of a washer and dryer that are stacked on top of each other. So like this is not easy. And so he rimmed out on some hockey points by less than an inch, like many of his pucks. So I think my intro essentially is what carried my weight in the standings. How many total were there, including fans? Like the fans did really well because I'm sure all they did was train for this thing. Huh?
I think there were like 60.
Yeah. So what this is, and if you're don't understand or haven't followed my social channels, is that Fanatics Fest in New York held basically a competition of, you had to kick into certain areas of a soccer goal and you get certain points if it's in a smaller hole or if it's up high or low. Hockey puck, you have to, flick hockey pucks into a dryer and a washer and a dryer. And obviously, if you hit the higher target, it's more points. MLB, strike zone pitch, so official strike zone distance from the mound. So the more strikes that you throw, the more points you get. Football throw. This one was tough on the old rotator cuff. I was very disappointed, though, that I was only able to hit 2 of the targets from 10 yards. That was not good. That Byron had the same. We all missed the 20-yard target. And then what else do we have?
Punching?
No. So punching, UFC punching. So basically the machine where you hit it and it gives you a 1 to a 1,000 score. Byron did beat me by 6. I think he was 686 and I was 681.
I thought you said you're a fighter.
I reminded Byron there's other ways to win a fight, so don't think that this is just don't f with me is what I'm saying. But no, I've got rotator cuff surgery, man. I didn't realize until after. I haven't thrown anything for 1 year.
It showed.
It was horrible. I mean, my follow through hurt so bad. I thought my shoulder was fully healed until I actually picked up a baseball or football, and I was like, holy crap, I can't throw 10 yards. And so that really hindered me, but there was no excuse for not performing well in the 2 events that I was planning on being money. Basketball, choked it up. Golf, choked it up. Well, the golf was tough because I'm left-handed, and they didn't have a club lower. They had a pitching wedge, and I'm like, I need a sand wedge. Like, I'm rocketing this thing over the green. I'm online, just too long. And they're like, we don't have a sand wedge.
Well, that's on them then.
I mean, come on, man.
You're Fanatics.
So you only had 5 shots. I put 2 on the green. The other were right behind the green. One was on the green, and the guy's like, it looks like fringe. Like, come on. So that sucked. I didn't perform well in the 2 events that I'm definitely the strongest at. But still, 37th out of 60-some legit athletes.
No, it was. I undersold that. It was 98 contestants.
Not bad. I beat some NFL guys, right?
Yeah, so some noteworthy names that you are, quote-unquote, more athletic than. Because this was an event of athletic competition,
Where was Byron?
He was 74th. Kevin Durant, Julian Edelman. That's kind of surprising.
Wow.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter, the, both sides of the football guy. You were better than Bryce Young.
I heard
DJ Khaled. He looked good in soccer, though.
He was good in soccer. Hold on. Bryce Young, I heard he got beat by Dwight Howard in the football throwing competition.
Well, math is mathin'.
That's not good.
But did you see Joe Burrow throwing baseballs?
That also wasn't good.
Whoa.
Is there one event that you felt like you could have been better at that surprised you? Don't take out the golf because you golf and we know that you're just a fine golfer.
Play the basketball.
I think I did okay in hockey. I got it 2 of the pucks in the what's up top, the washer or the dryer? I don't do
The dryer, I think.
okay.
The jar is up top.
Okay, yeah. I got 2 in there, and that was key. So soccer, being that I really didn't have to get the ball off the ground, like I feel like I should have been able to hit more 5-point targets in the corner of the goals, but I didn't.
And the last thing,
remember, you got these people all around every event, like
It's tight quarters.
yeah, and you're under the gun.
doesn't it feel like too good to be true in a way that Tom Brady won
Do you
this?
think that him and Michael Rubin perhaps said, "What are you good at?" Okay, let's make those the competition.
He probably had the whole setup at his house too, practicing.
But one thing though is that it did cover most of the major sports. I was just like, come on, where's the iRacing rig? Let's run lap times.
Yeah, NASCAR needs to get themselves a bigger
They got to
presence
get
at
involved.
Fanatics Fest next year.
Yes, NASCAR, you got to step up at Fanatics Fest because there are tons of people. They are all young. You got to have a presence. Every other sport was there.
And the cool part was that when all of these athletes and celebrities were going through and doing these events, the crowd just swarms the event, right? So if you have an iRacing rig there, Tom Brady's in the rig. You can put his screen up on a big screen, and everyone's watching Tom Brady try to run a lap.
Wait, were you there, Jared?
Yeah, I was there.
Couldn't tell, could you?
No.
What? That the Denny Hamlin meets DeMar Hamlin video is.
God, talk about making me feel old. I know we haven't even gotten into the racing yet. Sorry, guys. But when he's like, oh, my God, I have looked up to you ever since I was in middle school. I said, oh. Don't age me like that, bro. He's like, yeah, I used to tell people we were cousins.
He was excited to meet you.
He was very excited. He had sent me a few DMs a few months ago about coming to a race, and we were trying to coordinate that. But, I'd love to go to a Bills game. By the way, that new stadium, it is ready this year, right?
I'll have to check.
Yeah, I think it is. So maybe we're going to have to use that connection to go to a Bills game.
Highmark Stadium opens. It says opens 2026.
So probably one more year.
Starting with the 2026 NFL season. So I will not be this year.
Nope. 25 season.
Really? Okay. All right. Let's talk about cars.
Well, hold on.
Circles.
We've got one more
What?
off track. We have a gift for you, and we have a gift for Jameson. The gift from Jameson is on behalf of me and Charlie, and the other one is on behalf of Ohio State to you.
Okay. Let's see what we got here.
This is for Jameson. The rest is from Ohio State.
We can use this to practice next year's Fanatics Fest games. College football 2025. We went all the way, didn't we, Charlie? You know how many people I have saying OH to me now?
Yep.
It's an absurd amount.
Good.
Congrats on the victory and representing Ohio. Just so you know, the old DH legal team, a lot of Michigan grads. We got shirts, hats, hoodies, water bottles. Thank you. And who gave me this?
This is on behalf of Charlie and me. I'm being nice and attaching Charlie's name to it.
Well, thank you, fellas. I appreciate that. We will represent this upcoming college football season.
Not a racing.
Yep.
NASCAR are working on a deal to finalize a street course race in San Diego.
I mean, I don't hate it. I certainly think that San Diego sounds like a place I'd like to go. I mean, Sure, I guess. I mean,
You're gonna have a street race somewhere.
yeah,
Might as well.
it seems like they're really in favor of street races and building these things out. So if they're hell bent on it, then San Diego seems like a great destination to do that.
We're at Pocono this weekend. You want to start with the Xfinity race? Dale
Sure.
Jr. winning crew chief. Connor Zilisch wins the Xfinity race.
Yeah. I think that I think we got to give Dale Jr. a little bit of due, and certainly, don't want to undersell the fact that the team was doing the heavy lifting, and I agree that. Listen, I think that the answer is somewhere in between. Of Kyle Busch says he's nothing but a warm body up there. The TV sells it as he's an actual crew chief. I think the answer is probably somewhere in between, but it's still, you got to be responsible, right? And so you got to get the message to the driver, and he saw opportunities strategy wise, and he's probably talking to the engineers about the strategy. So yeah, I mean the results were is that he was walking to victory lane at the end of that race, and obviously Connor drove that car fantastic. Came back from losing a little bit of track position on a restart. 17 car of Chase Elliott looked like the best car speed-wise.
Is Connor ready for Cup? Like you look at what SVG did last year, and so obviously you're going to compare how he's doing this year, and people are going to say,
I would say that he's more prepared for Cup than what SVG was entering this season. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Like, I think SVG is getting better on the ovals. Certainly it's starting to show probably over the last 4 or 5 weeks or so. He's had some good, legitimate runs. Now, I would say that it seems like his performance is also connected to the uptick in Trackhouse performance. But generally speaking, I think Connor's having more success in Xfinity. Now, the two are not the same because, SVG was driving for Colleague. Connor's driving a JRM car, which is, the best cars on the racetrack. And so I think that there's, but as far as being ready, I didn't think SVG was ready. And short of his Mexico win, I think that that's proving to be true. But yet he's getting there. He's proving that he's getting better. He's starting to get the hang of this. And as he goes to tracks for a second time, he's going to get better as well. So that's going to continue to progress. And Connor, I think, would perform maybe not as good as SVG on the road courses right away, but has the potential to be there pretty quickly and probably will perform a little better on the ovals. So what kind of result would you have? I mean, the difference is winning an oval race in Xfinity and winning an oval race in Cup is, I can't even tell you the difference. It's not even Major League Baseball to AAA. It's what's below that and what's below that. Like it's such a huge jump. These guys are fast. It's hard. Ask any Xfinity guy over the last 5 to 6 years that won like 8 races and then has struggled to, get top 15s, top 20s in Cup. It's just the step up in competition is pretty huge. It's if there's ever a prospect that's going to be able to do it, I think that Connor's showing enough to me to garner that.
It's his first oval win. Is it more impressive that like this first oval win comes at Pocono, because it's not like a traditional oval, right? Versus like an actual oval. Like, is it more difficult to win at Pocono than say like Charlotte or any other traditional oval with 4 turns?
You're probably not asking the right guy that. People talk about all the time how difficult Pocono is. I don't think it's super difficult, but I think that it just fits my style. I think that's the reason why I've had success there. But there's been others that they go there and just they can't hit their ass with both hands, and it's just and they're great at other tracks, and it's just I don't know. I think it could be a style thing. So. I don't know. It might be a track that fits Connor's style like it did for me back in my rookie season. yeah, it's definitely difficult. It's an oval. I don't care what you go in circles. You don't go, left and right. So you count that as an oval win for him. And it's looking like, he's picking up speed as the season's going on. I think he's going to give Allgaier. And again, the difference is this championship is going to be set by who wins Phoenix. And I think it will be tough to beat Justin Allgaier at Phoenix. Regardless whether Connor could win out the next 20 races or 15 races, it just doesn't matter. When they go down to Phoenix, who's going to win there? I'm still going to give Justin the nod.
Hey, it's Dale Jr. Did you know that we've got brand new merch from our Stars, Stripes, and Beers collection available now? We've got tanks, tees, beach towels, and more just in time for summer. Check it all out at shop.dirtymomedia.com.
I skipped over the truck race, but Layne Riggs won Friday night in the trucks.
Yeah, he qualified on the pole as well. That's correct? I believe that's correct. They've got a great team over there. Front row is doing a great job. I know his crew chief over there, Dylan, is fantastic. And so, yeah, they're clicking off wins now kind of on a regular basis, and it seems to me they're one of the top challengers to Corey Heim week in, week out. How unlucky is that kid, though? I mean, what the hell?
It's about to say Layne Riggs comes with the W, but Corey Heim was also, up front for the.
It's freaking unbelievable.
He finds a new way.
Yeah, and it ain't him. It's all it's something else or someone else that's keeping him. But listen, it's just one of those things where everybody with two eyes and a brain can see that he probably should have won just about every race that they've had. Yes, he's gotten unlucky, and yes, it sucks because you're not getting the wins in the win column, but you're not changing the way people think about you and your talent.
He's still 124 points ahead.
That's sick because it could be over 200 so easily, which is means he could quit right now and still win the regular season championship.
Yeah, he could easily have 8+ wins.
Yeah.
Cup race this weekend. You won the pole on Saturday.
Yep. A little surprising considering kind of practice. I think I was 26th or 27th. I don't know. Maybe just knocking some rust off. I didn't think so. I just thought the balance of the car was a little bit off. And it was. And unfortunately for us, it reared its little head there towards the end of the race as well, where we just didn't quite have the balance we needed to put enough pressure on the 19 to run harder. But yeah, we had an overall good weekend. We weren't good in practice. We made great adjustments for qualifying. Car did everything I needed it to do. And then if I just would have had that balance for all the race, I felt very confident in what I had. And I did for the first stage. But then as the track just kept getting warmer and warmer, sun was coming out, we just lost the balance just a little bit. And then mainly track position. I mean, listen, I understand the backlash and people were talking about, a guy saving fuel, running 80%, shouldn't be able to hold off cars that are right up, on them, pushing 100%. But this has been Pocono for 30 years. It's been this way. Maybe not quite as bad. The only difference is that there was an opportunity there. So what's different in next gen versus what it was previously is that when I did get to Briscoe, there was a couple times early in the run and then one time late in the run. When I dove off in there a couple times, what would have been different with the other generation car is that when I dove in there, instead of trying to avoid him and go to a different lane, which you saw me shoot up high, I would have just shot right for his rear bumper, gotten him loose, got him up the racetrack, and then got beside him. This car, obviously, he's got the tremendous aerodynamic advantage where he's got all the air coming down on his car, pushing it down on the racetrack. When I drive in and he just, at the time, I think he was kind of running the middle lane. I was running the bottom, getting a run. He comes down. As soon as he puts me in his full wake, I mean, my car just takes off. And I think you saw that quite a few times. And so there's just, the track just isn't wide enough. What's different here versus a track like Michigan. In the same scenario, if you remember, I kind of wore Byron down there at the end, is that I had more lanes to work with to get clean air at Michigan than what I did at Pocono. So Pocono, while it is 2 lanes wide, the wake of the car actually is wider than that. So if you think about a slipstream of a car, let's just say the car, give me that car. So when it's coming off here and it's hitting this car, this air is creating a turbulence. I'm going this way. So it's creating a turbulence that just goes out. Now it
fans out.
Yes, it fans out. So what works at a track like at Michigan and Kansas and all these other tracks is that, I know that, okay, I don't want to be 1 lane. I need to be 2 lanes away from them to get away from all this wake and disturbed air on the right side of the car or left side. Where Pocono, when you only got 2 lanes, it doesn't matter how, even if you're 1 full lane out, you're still getting a bunch of that dirty air on your car. And it's really why this next gen car, that kind of the deficit to it, besides the fact that the leader it can manipulate more than the second place guy. Again, I think we need to have more outer body downforce, less underbody to get the back of the cars back up. It's just the track's not wide enough for me to go to a complete different lane. And even if he tries to steer up to that lane, then I'll shoot to another lane. It's just too narrow. And we've seen from the end of time, from the beginning of time with this car, it needs multiple lanes of racetrack. It does not like running in any wake of any car, which is why the racing on the road courses and short tracks have really struggled with this car, is that there's just, you don't have multiple lanes. It's the wider the track, the better the racing is going to be until they really change something aerodynamically with it.
So you can run right behind him going down any of the long front stretches,
yep,
right? And then you're in his wake and you're drafting on him.
Mm-hmm.
Can you not just try and keep that going through each corner? Is that possible?
No, because we're not at the limit of the tire grip down the straightaway. So there's a certain amount of load and grip that the tire, downforce that it needs for the tire to go down there and the car to have grip. When we're in the corners, you can't see it, but we're actually sliding through the whole corners, and we're on that edge. On the straightaways, that's why you can see that we run into each other on the straightaways and the cars don't wreck. But if you run into each other in the corners, they do wreck. It's because we're running on the edge of that tire's grip. And so what happens is I go into the corner. If I stay just right behind him, I'm not going to continue to gain on him and suck up to him. It's because he's running to the limit of that tire and grip, but he has all the downforce, all the clean air pushing down on his car, saturating that tire and creating grip. Where what my car is doing is that now that I'm in this dirty air, I don't have anything pushing down on my car. So now the tires are just kind of skipping across the track because it doesn't have weight pushing down on it. So that's kind of essentially what's going on there.
Did you think at any point in that run that you were going to get to him?
No.
Not one bit.
I kept asking, I think they mentioned on the broadcast, I asked with 10 to go, are you confident he's going to run out or not? Because at that point, it was unfortunate I had Blaney so close to me. Because, yes, would I have tried to just do something different, go run up in the gray on corner entry or corner exit? Yes, I would have. But I didn't want to lose second in case Briscoe ran out. So I kept asking, is he going to run out or not? Because I can make another run at him. But if I make a run at him and he blocks it and I end up losing a lot of speed, I'm going to lose second. And I'm going to feel really stupid if I lose second and he runs out on the white flag lap. So it kind of put me in a really tough position to where I'm sitting behind him. I'm trying to get my stuff ready to make a run at him. And I was able to do it with 3 to go. I made one last charge at him, but immediately when I got within 2-3 tenths, I mean, my car just took off. It just, the aerodynamic effect of that leader versus second place with corner speeds as high as they are at Pocono, and as flat as the racetrack is too, you don't have the banking to help load the car. You need all the air. It was impossible. He was going to have to miss corners for me to remotely get close.
So were you racing Blaney for the majority of that run, knowing that if Briscoe ran out, you just need to make sure you don't get passed by Blaney?
It was a cause and effect. So after I made some pretty good attempts to get by him early in that run, I realized I'm not going to. All I'm going to do is just destroy my this run and then have nothing left for him if I need to make a run at him late. At that point, then I'm just managing my gap to the 12. And then trying to keep him honest enough to where he can't let off the throttle late in the straightaways. But I would lose so much ground in the corners because of the dirty air that it allowed him to just save so much fuel.
Did you have a chance that you could have beat Briscoe on the restart with 30 to go starting on the outside?
Starting on the outside,
you were on the outside, right?
I started on the inside.
Inside.
Yep, and I was hoping I'd get a push because, man, we had a great opportunity, but the 17 just didn't get to my back bumper, not at all on that restart. And so I'm hoping that he pushes me, we get a run, and then I can pass Briscoe because I thought that Briscoe was a little bit vulnerable into one on restarts. And if you look, I actually almost got to his bumper, even though I was more than a car length back on corner entry. But I felt like, I contemplated, like, do I start on the outside, get him to the lead, get me to second, and then make a run at him? Losers choose the outs, choose behind the leader. So I'm like, screw it. If I go back to third, at least I give myself an opportunity to get pushed by him on the restart. But once the leader clears off of turn 2, good luck. I mean, at that track, this car, you got to be an absolute dummy to lose the lead.
Only you know how many more Pocono races you have in your career, but does it eat at you that, that could have been 8 and you might not get 8?
I technically I've had 8. You're aware of that, right? And 1 in 2022. No matter what
happened?
The stats say. We were DQ'd for a piece of electric tape.
Does that count? So does that count in the record?
No.
Right. Okay. Well, the way you said it made it sound like, I got 8 in the.
I don't care what the record shows. We won the race.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I know it in my heart.
Then he goes to bed at night with 8.
Yeah.
Will your rock be bigger out front
trophy
because of
back.
that?
Huh?
Will your rock be bigger, a little bigger?
No, I don't think that matters. I mean, yes and no. I want to be clicking off wins when we're fast like we are. Kansas is a heartbreaker, right? I mean, I'm looking at our finishes over the last 2 months thinking, holy we could have 5-6 wins here so easily, but we had blown engines and mechanical failures and had to pit for fuel at Charlotte.
Wrecked in Daytona.
Just lots of, side by side entering for the lead at Phoenix. We're really running well. So I don't want to, the positive is we're going to win a lot more if we just keep, performing the way we are. Yes, wins are hard to get, but the defining moment of that race was when Briscoe pitted and 4 or 5 others pitted, and then the caution came out. I remember I restarted, I think maybe the start of stage 3. No, it was the end of stage 2. Briscoe, because he caught that caution, had the lead with the same amount of tires and fuel than I did. I restarted 19th. And it was I knew at that point we're now on the same strategy, and he's 18 cars in front of me. Him and these other guys that caught that same caution. That's the name of the game at Pocono. If you can catch cautions and get track position, again, you can have the 20th fastest car and win that race easily, just because of how narrow it is and everything I explained with the dirty air. So I feel proud that we were able to drive back to second, truthfully, and we did it legitimately. There was no strategy, no nothing. We just had good restarts. My car could pass when others couldn't in dirty air. And you asked me on the plane, why can you pass for second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, but not for first? And I explained to you and that, well, the leader, so when I'm racing for fifth, let's just say fifth, the fifth place guy is getting dirty air from the first through fourth. So his car is not optimized. So when I'm in sixth, I'm not at that big of a disadvantage versus him than what I am with a first place to a second place. So you'll see passes, and I did it throughout the day, and other cars, the 17 was able to pass well. It looked like the 6 at the end. We can pass right up until we get to the lead. But then the deficit, the delta from first to second aerodynamically is the width of this table. The difference in fifth to sixth is about this much. So if you have a car better, you still have to be better by a significant amount. But with difference in first and second, I mean, I am very confident of this. If I backed off the 19 car by a second, I could run to him in 2 laps. It showed with the speed that we had when we fired off, when we ran our Xfinity fastest lap. We were 4 or 5 tenths faster than 19 those first 2 laps after that. After we came out under green, we were hauling ass. And I was like, let this thing run green because I am going to roll him in no time. And he had cars in front of him as well, so it would have been much easier for me to get around him. But, he was short on fuel. I'm coming with a head of steam, miles faster, but that's the brakes, and sometimes you need some good brakes to go your way to win Pocono. And, we didn't have any that were, we had a good car. I thought one of the best, if not the best, but you can't beat a ill-timed caution. It's just too tough there.
How shocked are you that he was able to save enough fuel?
Well, when they said initially, I asked them how short he was. They said 3 to 4 laps or something like that. And I was like, whoa. I'm thinking in miles, whoa, that's a long way. He's not getting that. And then the caution came in that, inside that last fuel window. And I was like, and that caution took forever. I think it was like 3 laps before we actually caught up to the pace car, and was like, damn it. This is going to get him 3/4 of the way there. He's probably only going to be 1.5 short. Now he's got to run 30 laps or so. He can get a lap or 2 out of saving, and especially just backing us in the 12 up. Like, all you got to do is just put us in your wake, and we just can't go anywhere. So they did everything they had to do. They coached him really, really well. I thought James did a fantastic job coaching him, and him and his engineers, and he executed perfectly.
Prime made it exciting, certainly, because they came off pit road and they're playing some audio from the 19 team, and they're like, we are on fuel, and made it sound real confident. Travis was real confident that he was running out.
I did too.
Oh, I was like, here we go. This is ours.
I did too. I thought he was going to run out, which is why that's why that whole run, I'm just kind of sitting behind him, thinking he's going to run out. I want to stay close enough to where he can't let off super early into corners. But, man, I'd lose 3 car lengths every corner, and I'd gain 2 down the straightaway. So it wasn't enough.
I was just waiting for Dale to yell like he's out of fuel, and it just never came.
Yeah, and I mean, we're looking at the same tools that they are as far as fuel mileage, and our team thought that he was maybe a half a lap short.
I think Gale said there's no guarantee.
Yeah, no, he told me that I would count on him making it. Same thing that he told us at Michigan, like with the 24, like, go pass him. I wish it was that easy at Pocono. Michigan, I felt confident in our speed that, like, I was going to go get Byron. But at Pocono, it's just, gosh, that leader. I can't think of another track where a leader has an advantage as much as Pocono, just because of the track layout and how, it's fast corners, low banking, next-gen car, narrow track. Indy's worse. That's the only one.
I asked my question earlier about the career wins, because it's got to feel pretty badass going to bed at night knowing, like, no one's better than me at this particular place. And if you have 8, like, statistically, on the record books in 100 years from now, no one's going to know, like, oh, this guy actually won 9 but had 1 taken away.
Right. Yeah, I'm not bugged by it too much. I'm happy with the accomplishments that we've had at that track and been able to win with different cars, different tires, different aero, stuff like that. Mentioned it on the broadcast that I think that the one thing that's made it easy is that you still make speed at that track the same way, no matter what has changed. Where other tracks, you definitely make speed different ways, being that we've got lower horsepower, downforce levels different. I've had to adapt my style at other tracks, but never at Pocono. It's always been the same.
Some other noteworthy takeaways from this race. All three 2311 cars had issues and brake rotor issues. Is that correct?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on over there, but they've had, typically when JGR doesn't have brake issues, 2311 does, and I don't know why, but I wish I could give you more insight on it, but they obviously all three had brake issues, and we got to figure that out because they had things going really well, but man, it's painful right now.
When that happens, is that like a part defect or is it a way you set up the car?
No, it could be it's set up. When you just blanket the word set up, but it's you put it together, you decide how much cooling you have, you decide the parts and pieces you decide to put on. That's it's a setup, quote unquote, thing.
Some more bad luck for Brad Keselowski. First pits when pit road is closed.
This isn't bad luck.
Well, the second portion is you pit and then the caution immediately comes out and then you're
the pace car has really bright lights on the back of it, and when the pit road is open, those lights are green and they are flashing, and when it's closed, they are red and they are flashing. I thought he was trying to bait one of us into going to pit lane, and then he steers off and catches us going, tricked you guys, pit road's closed. But that's what me and Carson were doing. We're like, 6 is going down there. And at that time, I steer down there like I'm going. I knew the whole time that it was closed, obviously. I see these bright lights that are flashing red. And so I'm like, surely the 6 is going to swerve off of this. Nope, he's not. I'm like, what the hell is going on? But it happens. It's not the first time that it's ever happened, but there's plenty of warnings that pit road, and really the spotter too. TJ, he's back. Usually they're telling the team and the driver, pit road's open, pit road's closed. I don't know. I didn't hear any of the transmission, but was that relayed or not?
Well, fortunately, Dirty Mo's going to get the whole scoop this week.
We will
and
not.
Travis will.
TJ is off this week.
Good God, he works less than Austin.
We have one Connor Zilisch as our co-host.
All right, that's cool.
But I'll have to go back and check the audio on that.
Yeah.
Who's most at fault when this happens? The driver?
Driver. By far driver.
He's the one steering the car.
Your team it's your team's job to tell you pit road's closed or open, but you've got to look at they give you NASCAR gives you 2 points of reference. The pace car it's not like he was 6th in line and the pace car is up there. He's right behind the pace car and it is flashing red, and it never flashed anything but red. And so it's on the driver.
The save from Carson Hocevar.
Hold on, let's take his other issue though.
What was it?
That was bad luck, right?
And I don't think it was bad luck.
What?
So he hadn't pitted yet, and then the caution comes out.
But they told him to
and
pit.
His crew chief told him he wanted to pit. And Jordan Bianchi brought this up. Now more than ever, drivers trying to kind of crew chief from their car is causing issues. And I think that was a problem.
That's right. Always trust your crew chief. They have a much bigger picture than what you do. It did not change, though. He wasn't going to win the race. We need to settle that because he wasn't up front at that time. They kept him out, yes, but he was just trying to. He was like, well, I've got clean air now, so I can go. I don't know where he was when other guys pitted me, the 1917, but he still wasn't up there where we were at. So it's not like he was going to win the race. Did y'all Did people think that?
No, I don't think that, but any chance.
He wasn't going to leap us.
Yeah.
You know, we came out firing. I ran a 52.59, 52.60 something. He's running 53.60s. He's the second off a lap while he's out there trying to make time in clean air. All he was going to do is cost himself more positions. And the crew chief said that. He's like, dude, we're bleeding time. So wherever we came in, we're going to come out further back. Even though, you know, so the crew chief has the information. You got to definitely trust the crew chief. I get it. In the car, you're thinking, oh, finally these guys in front of us pulled off. Now I can make lap time. It's still not as fast as what the guys are firing off when they come off pit road. So you will lose time to them unless they come out right behind traffic. And then there's a possibility you can be running faster than them, but not with this tire.
So it's not bad luck because it was just a bad decision disregarding the caution.
That's what I would say. But listen, I think we need to give RFK, continue to give them their due. They put 3 cars in the top 10 again. They've got speed. I'm seeing the 17 over the last few 1.5-mile, 2-mile tracks definitely be one of the faster cars. Michigan and now Pocono, he was a top 3 car. I'm certain of that on speed alone. You always tell by, even when there's a leader, he's able to push the leader. He was at Michigan. He did at Pocono. He couldn't pass him, but he passed everyone else, got to the leader, and ran on their bumper. That shows speed to me.
You said Busher?
Yeah.
He was 2 in speed, so.
Was? Okay. Yeah, it felt that way from my driver's seat, that I thought he was the next fastest car behind us.
Do you, as co-owner of 2311, sit there and watch RFK and it kind of go, why aren't we?
No, I'm looking at 2311 versus JGR saying, what the hell? That's what I'm looking at. I can't compare different manufacturers, different stuff. I can compare what I know, our resources are. And I can't say that's speed. It is maybe a little bit of it is speed. But both our cars were good in practice. The 23 was going to qualify well. The 45 did qualify well. It's just other stuff. They cannot put together races like from green to checkered. And it's not on one person or one thing. It's, mechanicals just killed the 23 this week. Other people's wrecks has killed the 23 over the last few weeks. Nothing he's doing. What I really appreciate is Bubba Wallace's attitude. I mean, a 180. I mean, weeks like this, it would have to be full therapy mode in past years. But I really it makes it so much easier for us to have, to fix these problems when we're not trying to fix an attitude problem as well. It just makes it easier, and he's making our job a lot easier. It's on us to step up for him at this point.
How long did it take you to figure that out? Because even yesterday,
About 20 years.
You get out of the car and you're not nearly as pissed as what I think you'd be for finishing second in a race that you probably felt like you should have won.
Yeah, you kind of understand that you're not gonna win them all. You're only gonna win 30% of the races that you're actually the fastest car, and I think that number's probably true over the last couple months. So I don't know. It's just it's a tough game. I wish I could control it more. I wish, knowing that I had in my mind a faster car than 19, I wish I could have gone up there and passed him. I wish the track was wider so I could, make something happen. But I mean, again, this has been Pocono for many, many years. This is not new.
Briscoe wins this race. Afterwards, he says that this has been the least enjoyment I've had in a win. I mean, I'm still happy, but you were just expected to win when you come here. Is that because of like the success the 11 cars had here that makes it seem like, JGR cars should win here? Obviously, Kyle Busch has a few wins here in the 18.
Yeah, I think it's just you're driving for one of the big 3 teams. Anybody that drives for Penske, Hendrick, or Gibbs should expect to win, and not like once. We're talking multiple times. These 3 teams dominate the Cup Series. They have for decades now. They have the most resources. They have the most amount of cars on the racetrack. If you are employed by one of them, you should win, like, often, not just once. And so I think he's like, yeah, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing at this point. I think he's underselling it. I think he still should celebrate. He did, and his team did a phenomenal job executing a race. Yes, they got a little lucky with a caution, but that's their choice. They saw that I saw him. I think it was a 71 on the apron, and I was like, oh, shit. I hope he's not throwing tire debris or something, like, we better get to pit road. We didn't. They did. And so that's them they executed the winning race, and they should celebrate it accordingly. They didn't get lucky.
This was his first win in the 19, so maybe just now feels a little differently winning in a car that should win versus...
Yeah. And the 19 hadn't won in a couple years. And so, I feel really good for James Small as well. Guy catches so much shit on social media, but he's a really good crew chief, everyone. He don't undersell James Small. Yes, there's been some execution issues and whatnot, but they're fast. Like, we've seen it in qualifying. Like, they know how to make fast cars.
This win now for the 19 also pushes the line up for the playoffs?
He was already in, but it will make it harder. Yes.
There's 5 spots available.
Right. Where there were 6, right? So it really doesn't matter whether you're above or below the cut line. And he was in a spot. I mean, he was probably up 30, maybe, points going in the day. I don't know. It really doesn't matter. But he was not like a full race ahead of the cut line. So
after Michigan, he was 11th in points. So he had a little buffer.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter where he is in points. It matters where it points to the cut line. And I think he was within one race. So like one
I see what you're saying.
Last place finish, you're on the cut or below it. So this takes a tremendous amount of pressure off that 19 team.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm getting at, is it just got a couple road courses coming up. You got
a couple
Daytona,
speedways going up. Yeah,
Atlanta.
Just so much stuff can happen.
Bracket challenge starts next week. You are a 1 seed.
I love racing in 2 races and get the number 1 seed.
Yes. This format's so stupid.
Just like I planned it. It was a joke.
You got Ty Dillon, the 1 seed, Denny Hamlin, 32 seed, Ty Dillon starting at
We're going
Atlanta.
to a speedway. It's a f***ing crapshoot. I don't know. I could get taken out in the first week. I know the record shows that I beat them 5-0 heads up at this track, but I very easily could have not. So I don't know. We're hope for the best.
Are drivers going to be into this?
They should be. I found it very odd that Chase Elliott didn't know anything about it.
It seems like the narrative for a lot of drivers.
It seems like, and I'm starting to. I thought before with Chase Elliott, and that he just kind of underplays everything. Like I thought, well, he's saying he doesn't know this or that or the other, but I think he does, and he's just kind of underselling it so he doesn't have to talk about it. I don't believe that anymore. I believe that when he gets out of the car on Sunday, he completely tunes out anything racing other than his team stuff, doing the work he needs to do with his team. I believe it. So I'm obviously different. I'm in the sport. I'm a media member. So he unplugs is what I believe, because he was like, yeah, I don't know what's going on. I think I heard something about a tournament, and what do you get? You get $1 million? Oh, okay, that sounds cool.
I will say Prime, we've been giving them their flowers, but they barely talked about it because it's not really a thing for them. Like there hasn't been talk about it.
Because it's just the seating, and I think that people don't care that much about the seating aspect.
Yeah.
I think that it will be a thing starting this weekend on TNT. They're going to highlight the battles, and certainly more than likely the bookmakers are going to have lines on all these matchups.
Which is why I think next year they need to fix the format and just go back to the regular seating. I think that'll help.
Yeah,
interest.
it could. It certainly could. Who am I to complain? I'm the one seed.
William Byron.
William Byron, though.
He by seed, if he wins, will be an upset.
Yeah, that's what's a little wacky.
Reddick versus Larson is a first-round matchup.
Yeah, it's a little wacky, but yeah, I agree. Next year, just go off of points wherever you add in points, and that be your seeding to simplify it. But I think they were trying to add content to NASCAR on Prime's 5 races. It wasn't that big of a talking point. There were other stories to be talked about, and I think they read the temperature of the room, saying that it probably wasn't something that was a huge interest to the people right now.
Yeah, and honestly, Prime didn't need it.
No.
They didn't need any extra talking points. We go to Atlanta this week. Race on Saturday night this week. Atlanta, 7 p.m. Reminder, it is now on TNT, and you can watch qualifying on Max.
I think the race is
Friday.
on Max
True.
too.
Isn't
qualifying's on True. The race is on TNT and Max.
All right, everyone, you got to switch over now. Okay, we're not streaming. We're True TV on Friday, 5 p.m. TNT and Max. Doing a little editing here while I'm talking.
If you're a cable person, True is very close to TNT, and if you have TNT, I'm pretty sure you have True.
That's right. Yeah, they're like one channel up, one channel down.
That's what they do for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, it's TBS, True, and TNT.
They're all right there.
Bam, bam, bam.
245 if you have a certain network.
Yeah.
You're also in the King's Hawaiian car this weekend, and we're going to King's Hawaiian on
How
Friday.
about that? I'm so excited to be in the King's Hawaiian car. It is these people have been so patient all year long. I bet they're sitting there as I'm winning and leading laps, and up front they're like, God dang it, why didn't we get more races in the front half of the season?
Here's the thing, though. I feel like whenever you get a new sponsor come on board, you win.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we also announced Bob's Discount Furniture is going to be on the car, I think, for at least one race this year, multiple races next year. Glad to have them aboard. My cars are bright.
I like that. It's
Yeah,
easy to spot.
me too. I like that. So let's go get King's Hawaiian a win this weekend. Show them that they went with the right old guy. I saw the car being wrapped in at Joe Gibbs Racing. I was like, ooh, you will be able to see me coming.
The orange car is cool.
Yeah, it is.
I got a review here.
And I'm an avid customer. Go up in my pantry right now.
So are you excited
King's
for
Hawaiian?
the pretzel
it's
buns?
Basically a store.
Are you excited for the plant tour, the King's Hawaiian tour on Friday?
I am. I'm always interested with my sponsors to kind of understand their business. You know, I'm a business owner myself, right? So it's like I love seeing kind of what's the business? What's the process? You know, what makes you go? You know, what makes you different from others? And so, yeah, I'm going to be excited to see that.
I got a review here from Res Striker 027. I've never been a Denny fan, but I've always respected his talents, mostly because my mom loves him, and I was an MTJ fan anyway. That said, this podcast is a part of my weekly post-race routine alongside the teardown. Love the insight from Denny and everything from on track to behind the scenes. Congrats on 700 starts, and do kind of hope you get a championship.
Me too, brother. Me too.
Speaking of teardown, I think Gluck is having an issue with you, Denny. You've been apparently aiding Jordan Bianchi in good race poll number.
I wasn't going to say anything publicly about it, but yes, Bianchi. Why did Bianchi say that he asked
Bianchi
me?
mentioned that he talked to you yesterday in Victory Lane, and that Gluck was wondering
Yeah,
why.
I'm walking out of Victory Lane, and he's like, hey, one question. Where's this race going to end up on the poll? And I said 73. Where is it? I think it might be less than that.
It's 50-50.
Is it? Yeah, I oversold it. I think a lot of it is you got to understand from my seat, right? I only see what I see. When I go back and rewatch the race, I definitely see something different. I can see why the fans would call this 50-50 race.
It's actually 52% no right now.
Oh, really? Only 48 yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I just think that the
passing at
there was no pass, green flag passes for the lead. Unless we could always ask Mike Ford from NASCAR. I bet there was like 1,800 green flag passes for the lead because there was pit stops.
and a driver saving fuel holding the lead, I think irritated a lot of people.
I get it. Trust me, you weren't as irritated as I was.
I was leading that charge though.
Son of a gun. I'm like, God, we're running 0.6 slower than what we should be, but I can't. He's dictating my lap time. God, I hate that.
Do you go back after the race and read what all the bozos in the group chat are saying while you're racing?
The group chats that we're on?
I'm saying bozos as in Travis, Charlie, Austin, and me to an extent.
Yeah. I don't consider Travis a bozo, though. I mean, the guy is true loyalist. I love it. By the way, if you're looking for race updates for me, go to, what is it? at T Rockhold.
And what is my handle?
You don't know what your handle is?
It's just at Travis Rockhold.
Oh, man. I mean, he tweets my races like he tweets Ohio State. Now, you're not really calling people idiots or plays dumb, but you definitely call it like it is.
Yeah, I've tried not to, when you've had mistakes on pit road or whatever, call out the pit crew. I don't know. It's a little different than just calling out a coach in a football game or a player. But yeah,
you haven't called for anyone's head yet.
No, not yet. I feel
not
like
calling for jobs.
Nope, not yet. But Brussels sprouts, we got to work on some code words. But we can talk about that off.
We can. It's just different categories. But we'll never use cowboys again.
Yeah, never.
When another subject is cowboy boots, that was probably a bad choice on our end.
Just a little.
Here's some tweets. The 11 team is using code words, and suddenly I'm nervous. Need a great restart here. Wreck each other. Need to start passing some more cars. Pay attention, Larson.
Oh yeah, screw Larson.
Yeah, he squeezed me in the fence. But you know what? He knew he did it because right before that caution came out, he waved me by. Like, he would never wave me by unless he knew he pulled a little, boo-boo. I think he saw in his mirror that he squeezed me up in the fence. So he gave me the finger to go on by. And then the freaking caution came out, like right when I pulled up beside him. So he understood. And,
okay.
I would have done the same thing if I knew that I squeezed him in the wall. Not when we're racing for the win, obviously. But I think he knew we were faster at that point and going to pass him anyway. So.
Do you owe Ty Gibbs an apology?
Man, maybe. The 24 caused that, though. Like, I'm in such a tough spot because I'm beside the 54. And I said something over the radio. I was like, damn, tell him sorry. The 24 just dove by me into turn three wide. And so I'm trying to leave him room. And it ends up the 50, I'm right on the 54's door and ended up costing him, I think, 2 spots. Yeah. And so, not ideal. You don't want to run side by side in these next gen cars. You just let the pack catch you so quickly. And then, when we're, playing grab ass over in turn 3, because I'm all up in the 54's door, crowding him up high, trying to give the 24 room. If anything, I probably should have crowded the 24 instead of the 54. But, I mean, it's all split second. I'm trying to just react and not get wrecked. And while I'm doing that, I'm all up in the door of the 54. So, yeah, probably. Let's move on from this damn race.
That's all we got this week.
All right. Well, we're Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Going to Atlanta. Let's beat Ty Dillon. Let's go. Let's do it.